Love makes people crazy, Shen Wenlang muttered to himself, a dry laugh escaping his lips. It wasn't just Hua Yang who had gone completely irrational lately. No, even his beta secretary, Gao Tu, who had always been quiet, composed, and utterly dependable, had started acting strange. Gao Tu, of all people. The man who had followed Shen Wenlang like a shadow since their student days, silently taking care of every task, every detail, never complaining, never asking for anything in return. This man, who had always been the model of reliability, had suddenly started taking leave for reasons that Shen Wenlang couldn't even begin to understand. And then, on his very first day back at work, Gao Tu calm, measured, almost unreadable Gao Tu had brought up personal issues, fertility, children, family. With Shen Wenlang's eyebrows shot up. His lips curled into a bitter, incredulous smile. And just when he thought it couldn't get more absurd, it did. Shortly after that conversation, Gao Tu had handed in his resignation. Resignation, because he had to take care of his pregnant Omega partner. Shen Wenlang stared at the resignation application, frozen for a moment, and then let out a laugh. A laugh of pure disbelief. And anger. No wonder Secretary Gao, who usually wouldn't utter a single personal word without necessity, had suddenly brought up the topic of children with him. When Gao Tu had asked, "What if your Omega has a child in the future?" Shen Wenlang had immediately frowned, memories flooding back to that one drunken night when he had ended up in bed with his Omega. Without hesitation, he had said mercilessly, "Of course abort it. What else?" Gao Tu's expression had changed instantly. Sadness, fear, even a hint of something. Pleading flickered across his face. And Shen Wenlang's mood darkened further. "Don't ask me such boring questions during work. You know I hate Omegas?" He snapped, the anger bubbling hotter by the second. Over the years, Gao Tu had sent at least 80 Omegas on his behalf. 80! And yet now, he was talking to him about children. About pregnancy, about family. Why now? Why this idiotic question? Shen Wenlang's mind raced. Recently, he himself had been forced to take leave more often than he liked, to calm an Omega prone to anger. The thought that Gao Tu might have been infected by that same foolish, love-driven madness made Shen Wenlang's chest tighten. "Do you have anything else to say? If not, get out," he snapped, fury lacing every word. He imagined Gao Tu lying next to an Omega every day, holding them through fever periods, carrying them in his arms with that quiet devotion that had always made Shen Wenlang uneasy. Gao Tu stood in front of his desk, silent. For a long, tense moment, it seemed as if he was holding back, as if he had made a choice he wasn't entirely ready to announce. Then, finally, he spoke. Hesitant, but firm, but forcing Omegas to have abortions. Shen Wenlang's head snapped up, irritation flaring. "Don't always say Omega, Omega. Aren't you disgusted by it?" But Gao Tu's face flushed red. His hands shook slightly. And then, almost without realizing it, his voice rose, stronger than it had ever been. "Mr. Shen, please don't always insult Omegas. This violates the relevant provisions of the ABO Equal Rights Agreement." Shen Wenlang froze. In 10 years, he had never heard Gao Tu speak to him in this tone. Never. And yet here he was, contradicting him, defying him, on behalf of an Omega. Shen Wenlang's anger surged. He raised his head, sneering. "What's the matter, Gao Tu? You are a beta, and you want to sue me on behalf of an Omega?" Of course, Gao Tu had no intention of suing him. He had simply resigned. For a pregnant Omega. Shen Wenlang's eyes narrowed as he scanned the resignation report again. Fury coursed through him. How could someone he had trusted so completely suddenly throw it all away? Out of love? Out of devotion? This idiot. He was furious, yet a part of him couldn't stop analyzing, couldn't stop thinking. Why would someone as honest and composed as Gao Tu be so utterly undone by love? In this day and age, Shen Wenlang thought, Where could one even find another boss as tolerant as him? A boss who allowed him to take leave whenever necessary, who paid him handsomely enough to support his sick sister in the hospital. And on top of that, the dissolute Omega who demanded attention, who got pregnant, who caused endless disruptions. And now, Gao Tu had left all of that behind. And yet, thinking about Gao Tu, Shen Wenlang couldn't stop a wave of irrational, intrusive thoughts from forming. He remembered the strong, lingering scent that always clung to Gao Tu. A scent that he had never thought about before in such a personal way. How intimate must those moments have been? He wondered silently. For an Omega to leave such a mark on him. How could the Beta he had known, the man who had always been so honest and proper, be so vulnerable in bed? No, stop it. He scolded himself mentally. Why did it even matter? Why was he thinking about Gao Tu in such a way? Damn it, Shen Wenlang thought, clenching his fists. This is what love does to people. It makes them lose all sense of reason. Makes them irrational, makes them human, and he hated it. Hated it, hated it, hated it. Yet, as he stared at the resignation letter once more, he couldn't deny a certain pang of something. Regret? Curiosity? A flicker of fear that perhaps Gao Tu had finally found something worth more than loyalty to him. Shen Wenlang leaned back in his chair, running a hand over his face. How could a man he had known for 10 years, a man he had trusted with everything, be undone so completely by love? This is insane, he thought. Absolutely insane. And yet, a part of him, the part he despised, knew he could not entirely stop thinking about it. About Gao Tu, about the Omega who had done this, about how quickly, how completely love could change a person. He had always believed that love made people weak, but now, he realized it made them bold too, daring, courageous enough to leave stability behind, to defy the powerful, to fight for something that seemed impossibly fragile. And as he stared at the empty space where Gao Tu used to stand, he felt a strange emptiness, a hollow echo that lingered long after the man had walked away. Love makes people crazy, he repeated quietly, almost to himself. Not just Hua Yong, not just any Omega, but even his Beta, Gao Tu, had fallen victim to its madness. He shook his head, trying to banish the thoughts that crept unbidden into his mind. Thoughts of the lingering scent, thoughts of intimacy, thoughts of the loyalty and yet rebellion that Gao Tu had shown. No, I must not think about it. And yet, he couldn't help it. Because for the first time in years, Shen Wenlang realized something he had never admitted even to himself. If you loved this twist in the story, don't forget to hit like and subscribe for more ABO drama. Comment below which character's choices shocked you the most, and turn on the notification bell.